Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Awareness Hub, one place where you learn all the things that are happening around the world. You name it, you're gonna learn about content creation to artificial intelligence to Web3 to NFTs to social media to anything. You name it, you're gonna learn all the things that are happening around the world. And I'm gonna do this by bringing in a lot of guests who are expert in their field who are gonna share their knowledge, experience, and expertise, which is gonna make you smarter. So we have done a lot of episodes so far. And having said that, in this session we have Rashika with us, who's a very good personal branding strategist and expert. She's actually doing a very good job on LinkedIn. She's like specifically trying to help people to build their personal brand on LinkedIn. So we've this session is going to be like really helpful if you are a beginner who wanted to understand and how to build your personal brand. So without further ado, let's bring her to the show. So first of all, Rashika, thank you so much for accepting my invitation and being on my show. It's a great pleasure to have you on my show. How do you feel to be in my show?
No, like really, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's so great. Like actually, the thing is, whenever I try to bring people to my show, what I used to do is I kind of look them only on LinkedIn as of now. Maybe in the future, like I kind of look them on Instagram, like other platforms. But currently, I look them only on LinkedIn. It's because I am completely active on LinkedIn. Like in what categories, like do I choose the people to be on my show? Is that I kind of look out these people who are trying to create content, who are being expert in their field, and that's how I think I found
Right.
you. I think like I have known you for like more than 5 to 6 months. It's because
Yeah.
like we've been connected to each other. You're a personal branding expert, and you also have your session, this personal branding workshop also.
Workshops.
So
Right.
that
Yeah.
I just learned that okay, Rashika is like really good in her field. Like she's helping a lot in the sense like she's helping founders, all these people to build their personal brand. So I thought like okay, it's like really a right time that I have to bring Rashika to my show to share her expertise about personal brand. Maybe like I can kind of keep this as personal branding 101 so that all my audience will be kind of helpful. The things like this is like I just want to tell this to my audience is that I'm gonna extract as much knowledge as possible from Rashika and give it to you people. I hope this is gonna be like really valuable if you are into if you're thinking to start your journey on personal branding. So it's gonna be like really great. I'm like so pumped
That
up.
means a lot, Anish. Yes. And yeah, I will try to give out as much as information as I can, and especially for the beginners out there, because
Mm-hmm.
those are the people, you are the people who I help the most.
Exactly.
So yeah, let's go.
Got it. So, having said that, like, I just wanted to start with personal branding stuff itself. Like, what do you think about the personal branding in current situation and how it is going to play out in 2023 and beyond? So, do you think that it is like even more important, or do you think that it is kind of, I wouldn't say we cannot use the word saturated for personal branding because, as you know, like personal branding is like personal. It's like you can have your own brand, I can have my own brand. So, like, I don't want to use the word saturated, but what do I want to tell is it has it become like so competitive that it is difficult to build a personal brand, or like is it okay that people can even start right now and start building their personal brand?
No, I don't think it's at all competitive right now. If you go to any platform, be it Instagram or LinkedIn, and let's say especially LinkedIn, since we're talking about personal branding on LinkedIn. So let's just stick to LinkedIn and talk
Mm-hmm.
about that. Even here, there are
Sure.
like, you might see that there are hundreds of creators, and there's like, they've already built their brand and they're already at a certain level. So I won't be able to reach there, or I won't be able to be as good as they are. The biggest problem
Mm-hmm.
here is that we compare ourselves to those creators. I mean, we don't know yet
Got
that
it.
how long those creators have worked to be here, right? So
Exactly.
they may have worked for 2 years or 10 months or 3 years or more, and that's when they've reached that level. And you're just on your day one. You cannot compare yourself to any of the creator for that matter, or even another person who's starting on the same day. You have to start today and build with time, grow with time. And there's, when it comes to personal branding especially, I think that people are not completely aware about its importance right now.
Got it.
So be it founders or individuals, there are actually very few people who are working towards this particular field, who understand the importance of building their digital identity. Like, I always tell people that when someone wants to work with you professionally, or they just, look up professionally, they want
Mm-hmm.
to know your information, they'll go on Google and they'll maybe type your name, or they'll go on LinkedIn because that's a professional platform. So they'll type your
True.
name there and they would want to see, what have you done so far, who are you, what are your professional specifications. And that's where building your brand comes in handy, right?
Yeah.
Even if you are posting a few times a week, even if you are not very much into personal branding, you got to start, you got to do something about it, build your profile, put yourself out there, even if a little bit, even if you don't want to invest all your time there, do it, because that's how people would sort of, trust you or your specialties, your expertise. And I'm so surprised to see that, most of my friends, they
Mm-hmm.
don't have a personal brand on LinkedIn. So my
Okay.
colleagues from the previous company, my friends right now outside of LinkedIn, they all don't even know the importance of personal brand. And they're like, earlier they just used to tell me that, Rashika, why do you keep posting on LinkedIn all the time? And what will you get out of that? And now they're just like, oh, Rashika, you're like a LinkedIn star. I see your posts all the time and stuff like that. And yes, they do see my posts, but still they don't get
Got
the
it.
importance of
Got it.
LinkedIn and personal branding. They just see it as like, oh wow, Rashika created a post and it gained a lot of likes, so she's a star. That's what they consider
Got
it
it.
as. They don't really understand the meaning of personal branding. So yeah, I think 2023 has like a lot of scope for personal branding. People will
Mm-hmm.
be more aware. So far,
Okay.
very few people are aware. And yes, people like me are working towards this to make more people, more founders, more individuals aware of personal branding. But yeah, 2023 will be big for personal branding. We'll see more people coming in, and it's not at all saturated. It will
Got it.
never be saturated
Got it.
because,
So
like you
actually,
said, sorry.
true.
So, because like you said, that, it's your personal brand.
True.
So, building your identity is not competitive. It is about you. It is your journey that you're putting out there.
Got it. So actually, when I asked you about this current status of personal brand, you said like there are two things that people are kind of going wrong. Number one, you said like they are still not aware of the things around personal brand or like the importance of personal brand. And number two is that they kind of they're still kind of insecure. They think they compare their journey with other people who have already built their journey. I mean, who have already built their personal brand. So in this context, like what do you think about the number one mistake people make when they start to build their personal brand? Is it because I mean, let's say for example, people have started building something, okay, but what do you think is the number one mistake? Do they always compare themselves, or like they don't have any strategy? Like what is the number one mistake that you think people are making when it comes to personal branding?
I think the number one mistake is they expect results too soon and then they give
Mm-hmm.
up too soon. So,
Okay.
after, let's say, creating or working on their brand for a few days or even, let's say, a few weeks, even
Mm-hmm.
a month, they want results. Okay, I've been doing this for a month and I don't have any results. What am I
Results.
supposed to do now? So it's pretty useless. Let me just leave it. That's what they think. But that's not true. You have to work consistently. Even if you're giving a little time to it every day, you have to do that almost every day, or let's say every alternate day. I'm not saying post every day, but
Got
work on
it.
your personal brand, engage, connect with people
True.
every day. And that's how you build brick by brick. You cannot just give it up. And that applies to everything, I guess, in life, that, you cannot build
Yes.
things in, let's say, a month or a week or a few days. You
So
need to
true.
keep doing
And
it.
yeah, and I would say that nowadays actually people have got used to this instant gratification mindset, right? It's
Exactly.
it includes it includes yourself and myself as well. Like we've been into this fast moving world, we want everything just like that. That includes like everything, and that's where like people are kind of going wrong, I would say. Because even me actually, when I started my journey, also like on any platform, like when I started creating content, actually I used to jump from this platform to other platform. I started my creation journey on LinkedIn, I mean on Instagram first. But like I was not consistent. I was thinking like I'm not getting any results. Like why should I be on this particular platform? So like what I used to do is like I should I should jump from here to there. I used to do that. So I think it's because of this instant gratification mindset that people are not doing the things. As you said, we kind of expect results soon and give up sooner also. So that's the biggest problem, right?
Right. And when people ask me that, tell me about the hacks or are there any shortcuts, this is the first thing I say, that there are no shortcuts. Even
Exactly.
I have reached a certain level. Let's say I'm, a mediocre level, not very high level. But
Mm-hmm.
wherever I am, I still have to put in that work consistently. Even the biggest creators here, even Justin Welch has to appear on LinkedIn every day to
Exactly.
maintain his brand. So, you have to work long term and you have to keep building.
Got it. It's
Yeah.
that, yeah, it's always about the showing up. Like you got to show up every day. Like best
Right.
example, like what I whom I would kind of refer is like Gary Vaynerchuk. He kind of says that he's been creating content for like literally 15 years, like every day at a stretch, and that's how we have built this empire. It's not like there's like no hack. If you want to build something legit, if you really wanted to build something big, if you wanted to have this great impact, then you got to show up every day. It's a long term game. Like there's no hack or there's no shortcuts and all.
Absolutely.
Yes. So now, coming back to this personal branding stuff, so you actually help individuals and founders also, right, to build their personal brand.
Right.
So my observation here is that when it comes to founders, what I have observed in the sense, like, please correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong as well. So like my observation is that I feel that most founders are not spending time or like even the resource to build their personal brand. They either think that it's not going to give them the result what they desire, be it sales or be it brand awareness. They think that their marketing, like the separate marketing campaign is what going to give them all the results. Their personal branding is not going to do anything for them. So that's what they've been thinking, is what like I think. So like what do you think about it? Is it because they don't understand, or like they don't know the power, or like they think that there's like no use of building a personal brand?
Right. I think there is, again, when it comes to founders as well, I think there's a lack of awareness. And,
Mm-mm.
most founders or let's say leaders think that working on their brand, building brand awareness for their company is more important and actually the only thing that's important.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
don't understand the importance of building their own brand and connecting with their audience at a personal level. So
Mm-mm.
they kind of need to understand that when you as a person talk to your audience and share your experiences, your struggles, or even your wins, even your achievements, there is like a connection at a completely different level. This way you
Got it.
can reach to a larger audience, build trust, build a strong relationship, and also
Mm-mm.
divert traffic to your company or to your like main brand. This is like, treat it like a funnel, like a gateway towards building connections and diverting traffic or diverting attention to what you are building to your main brand. So
Got
that's
it.
why it's like so important for founders to build their brand right now, because
Mm-mm.
people may not trust brands at once, but they will be able to trust humans earlier or sooner,
True.
right? Easily. So
Exactly.
people
It's
trust people, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was just going to say
Yeah,
that, it's that when people look at faces, right, we kind of, have this rapport. We have this very good
right,
wavelength. We kind of, attach with each other. So rather than just, putting out a logo and telling about your business, it's good, like if you have your personal brand, like putting yourself out there and kind of, saying about your business, right?
right. Yeah, share your stories, and that's how you can connect with
Mm-hmm.
people.
Got it. So now, coming back to your content creation part, I mean, you've been like completely
Right.
active on LinkedIn. So, did you start your journey right from LinkedIn, or like did you use other platforms and then move to LinkedIn? Like, how did you get on LinkedIn? Was it just this the first platform that you got started out?
When it comes to personal branding, yes, this is the first platform that I started and, creating like my
Mm-hmm.
personal plus professional brand, or let's say my digital identity. So LinkedIn is, yes, the
Got
first
it.
platform. I did, of course, like I did try to build something on Instagram as well, but only as a hobby. So I
Mm-hmm.
have like a travel page there on
Got it.
Instagram, but that's just my hobby,
Mm-hmm.
like a passion project. But when it comes to building my brand, so how I started this was I used to create content for founders and leaders. I used to create LinkedIn posts for them when I was part of
Got
a
it.
marketing agency. And I realized if I can create content for them, why not create content for myself? And so I kind of
True.
started creating my posts. I created the first post, and then I used to keep wondering what topics should I create on, how to build. And with time, like step by step, I kind of analyzed what others are doing. I analyzed what kind of content that I'm creating, what's working, what's not working. And it took me like pretty long
Mm-hmm.
time to crack everything, like what works and what doesn't. And I'm
Got it.
actually still doing that because no one has it all figured out. um Even
Exactly.
I am
And
still
social media
on the
keeps
learning
changing
process.
always, right?
Yes, the algorithm keeps changing, what people like, what they don't like, what they're already bored of. Everything keeps changing and you have to keep learning. So yeah, that's how I'm still learning, but yeah, that's how I learned and started here. on this platform.
Okay, got it. So since you've been like completely active on LinkedIn, I mean, like you've just started your journey on LinkedIn, and so far, like you've been active on LinkedIn, you've done a lot of experimentation. So, like, what do you think about the current status of LinkedIn? I mean, I think LinkedIn has changed a lot. It has, right from job searching, it was just a job searching platform. Then later on, it converted into the social media platforms. Then everybody started creating content. Everybody started getting these opportunities, awareness, and all.
Right.
So in terms of the platform, in terms of algorithm or like any content type, like what do you think about this current status, and like how far LinkedIn has changed and how it is going to stay in 2023 and beyond? Is it that, is videos going to be more important, or is it still the written content? Like, what do you think about it?
Right. So I kind of started using LinkedIn in 2020, but that was just for job
Okay.
search. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
considered LinkedIn as, like, a job search
Got
platform
it.
only,
Mm-hmm.
like Internshala or any other platform. But then with time, I got to learn more about LinkedIn. And that time, I didn't even actually in 2020, I didn't even come across maybe any such post, or I didn't give enough attention to such posts, even if there were. So in 2021, when I realized that, there is more to LinkedIn than just than just searching for jobs, I started creating content here. And that time, text post dominated LinkedIn. So, there was more content to read, more people were creating only text posts. Sometimes there were images and infographics as well. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, that's what the scenario was in 2021. And 2022 was, I think, a very big changing point for LinkedIn. Like, all the different types of formats came in, images came in, videos came in,
Got
and
it.
so many others. Polls also became like really huge, and articles were, of course, there. And one main thing that happened is LinkedIn introduced the accelerator program, creators
Got it.
program. So, this shows that LinkedIn is pushing creatorship. They want people to create content. They want leaders to have a unique perspective and share their perspective on different topics. Right. So,
Got it.
that's how, yeah. And I think for 2023, this is, again, it will just continue what happened in 2022. The major change happened in 2022, but 2023 will be big on creatorship again. And
Got it.
when it comes to the formats, I think images will be ruling, because I'm not just talking about like personal images or people sharing their pictures, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
mostly talking about informative images, infographics, and other informative content in the form of images, because plus text, of course. I think that's
Got
what
it.
works the most. And when it comes to videos, I don't think they work a lot. I mean, people don't really, they're not yet ready to watch videos on LinkedIn. They prefer other
Yes.
platforms for videos, but
Even
I think
like
short videos can work here on LinkedIn.
exactly. Like even I have seen like most creators are not yet creating a lot of videos on LinkedIn when you compare it with like other platforms. Like even
Right.
if I just scroll through my feed, like I don't see a lot of videos. Even like I don't consume any videos on given I mean like on LinkedIn. If I wanted to consume anything, like I either go to Instagram, or like I directly go to YouTube. So it's even like I feel that most creators are not yet creating this videos on LinkedIn.
That's true. Like, we have to understand the intent of the users as well, of our audience. So they were here on LinkedIn for a particular intent. They want to, let's say, read your stories, or they want to learn something from you, learn a skill from you, and mostly in the form of text or, let's say, images. Adding images, of course, more entertaining and more attractive than just text.
Got it.
But like when it comes to videos, I think most people go to YouTube or Instagram or let's TikTok for consumption of videos. So yes,
Got
that's
it.
what I think 2023. Although yes, I can see that it's slowly rising. I mean, so far even the biggest creators' videos aren't getting a lot of traction, but short form videos are definitely rising. People are of course experimenting with different formats, and it might get some traction this year. Short form
Got
videos.
it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
There's like other like one important feature that I wanted to discuss here, like, and wanted to get your input about it. So what do you think about the LinkedIn newsletters? Because as far as like I have observed, there are like not much people who are using LinkedIn newsletters. Okay, but like what I have learned in the sense, like after looking at like few creators, like what updates they have given in the sense, like LinkedIn newsletters and these articles are actually SEO optimized.
So let's say for suppose like if you're searching for something like maybe how to build your personal brand on LinkedIn, and if you put it on Google, chances are that if your content is like really good, if your newsletter or if your article is like really good, it can appear in Google search. So it's like SEO optimized, Google search optimized. Okay. But still, in spite of having that particular, advantage, like people are not yet creating a lot of content on newsletters or articles per se. Like, what do you think about LinkedIn newsletters and articles for that matter?
Right. So what I think is if someone doesn't want to invest in newsletters, as in pay for services, newsletter
Mm-hmm.
services, they can
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn is a great platform, like a free platform for you to, build a more personal relationship with your audience. So let's say in your post, yes, you're talking about your experiences, your stories, your skills, and all the other things. But
Mm-hmm.
in a newsletter, you can sort of give more value, like, suggest some blog that you read, a book that you read, and a
Exactly.
compilation of all those, a compilation of your
True.
entire week, or let's say 15
Kind
days.
of
You
like
can share, this
updates
is what I
about
learned.
social media platforms
Right.
and all, right? Yeah.
Right. Whatever update, whatever trend you're seeing, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe a post of yours that is like really valuable that people may not have read earlier, but you can just, plug it in your newsletter and let them read, let them know because it's valuable for them. So I
Got
think
it.
newsletter is just like going an extra step to develop that personal reputation or personal bonding with your audience, and it's great. And like you said, it's also, you can also optimize it. So if you use the correct keywords, especially
Keywords.
in articles. So I always suggest this to people that instead of writing your blog on different platforms and having it all over the place, start
Mm-hmm.
writing articles or blogs on LinkedIn. It's a free platform. You
True.
already have your profile here, you already have all the other content pieces here, like, so you're already building on LinkedIn. So why not even write articles here? This way,
Got it.
you don't have to divert people to different websites to read your content or to read or to check out your portfolio. You can create everything at one place. LinkedIn can be that go-to place for you, where
True.
professionals come to your profile and they read everything about you and they check out your portfolio of blogs. And the best part is that, I'm also a writer. So when I'm conducting research for different topics, I come across blogs that have been written on LinkedIn. And, even if the
Mm-hmm.
blogs haven't gained a lot of traction on LinkedIn, they can still appear on Google search. And that's the best part about it,
Got
that
it.
your profile can get more traction through your blogs, even from people who are not using LinkedIn. So, even from Google. So that's the best part about
Got it.
articles and newsletters.
And like there's like one problem which people have been addressing is that LinkedIn newsletter still does not give us the options to download all the newsletter subscribers. I mean,
Mhm.
uh, when you create an article in a newsletter, of course they give the notification to your mail inbox and you get it on your social media platforms. But the biggest problem is that like we are not able to download all these email lists. So that's biggest problem. And like LinkedIn has been telling that they can they'll address it and kind of give us a solution, but I don't think they're doing it anytime soon, right? I think that's the biggest problem.
Yes, I think that is one backside to this, that, or like you can say downside to this, that you cannot
Mm-hmm.
get all the content or all the data of your subscribers, which is an important part because people would want to monetize it. Creators would want to monetize it
Exactly.
later
Every
or at a later stage or maybe currently. But right, if you don't want to monetize it right now, or if you don't have any future plans for doing that, and you want a service that is free, and you already have an audience on LinkedIn, you already have, let's say, built some sort of a brand on LinkedIn. So starting your newsletter on LinkedIn itself can give you that base, like, that can give you more audience directly. You won't have to push
got
people
it.
to subscribe to another service, or let's
Makes
say to
sense.
subscribe to a newsletter that comes separately to their inbox. Um, but again, what you can do is, in such a case, like if you want, even if you have future plans for getting paid newsletter services, you can start with LinkedIn right now and
Mm-hmm.
build that audience. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
later, when you're ready to get that paid service, um, try another platform. you know Ask your build an audience here and then shift that audience to another platform, and then you can also get their all their data when you
Got it.
shift.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like very good. I think we've got an valuable thing about this newsletters. I think people have to use, because, as you said, I mean, like if you wanted to kind of understand and learn about writing, I think you can like really play around with LinkedIn newsletters and kind of build your audience over there. Then like you can move to other platform. So
Right.
having said that, like I just wanted to talk about again this personal branding. Like, what is your go-to strategy, or like what is this three advice, or like you keep it like three or like fail? Like, what is this specific advice that you give it to your fellows, like I mean the people whom who's coming to your workshop, or like whom do you consult, like about everybody, like what is that go-to strategy that you tell if they're just getting started on personal branding, like what kind of content they should create? I mean, like what is the strategy?
Right. So for you, whoever is starting on LinkedIn right now, one thing
Mm-hmm.
that you should clearly understand is you will not get the results instantly, and you have to have that mindset to, continue with consistency. So what specific strategies I would give is that first, share your stories, put yourself out there. Don't just stick to informational content. So this is something that I
Got it.
see people doing, that, they're posting informational content like 5 tips for this, X ways you can do that, but they're not talking about themselves. They're not talking about how it helped them.
So Rashika, like you've completed about your talk on content creation, like how people have to get started as a personal branding, like when they're starting their journey on personal branding. So my next question would be that in terms of content creation, I think content creation has changed a lot. And like when I mean by changing a lot in the sense, like I mean the impact of AI. I mean, like recently everybody we has been talking about AI, how it's gonna change a lot of creators, how it's gonna give us a lot of text and all, right? Like generate a lot of articles and all. So like what do you think about the impact of AI on content creation, specifically on personal branding, I would say?
So I think AI is here only to help us. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
won't affect content creators' jobs. So all
Got
those
it.
content writers, or let's say graphic designers, or people who think that, their jobs would get replaced, it won't get replaced if you know how to deal with it. You have to use it to support your content creation process. So,
Mm-hmm.
use it like an assistant. So
Got
ask
it.
for ideas, get help in research, and of course, don't just trust on that AI tool for your research right now, because it's not completely developed.
Completely. Yep.
It's So as far as you are utilizing it perfectly, it won't harm your jobs, or
Mm-hmm.
hamper your content creation process. All you have to do is learn to embrace it. So for example, even
Got it.
I use some of the AI tools to seek help, to seek ideas, to for that brainstorming session. So yeah, it's not your job is not going anywhere, and AI won't replace you, because it cannot have that human touch. It cannot get that human touch
Exactly.
that you can give to your content.
Exactly. So actually, my perception here is that one thing what I've learned about tech is that technology is gonna adapt. I mean, technology is gonna keep advancing a lot. I mean, it's gonna get even more advanced. It's gonna get even more advanced. The only thing is like we can never fight against technology. Like once we think that we can fight against technology, then you're gonna be a loser. Loser. Like there's no way in the world that you can fight against tech and you can do something. It's that you have to get associated with it. You have to embrace it. You have to get adapted to it and kind of use it as much as you can. Like as you said, of course, like ChatGPT can generate a lot of text for you, a lot of articles for you, but provided you should be the one to give the prompt in such a way that it is being read by a lot of people. Like you should be the one to give that prompt and get the generative text. And after getting generative text, like you should be the one to do a lot of editing and check like if it's everything's accurate and things like that. So it's that always about like how do you embrace it, like rather than sitting in a couch and thinking that, oh my god, like is it going to take my job and doing like other things. Like it's how are you going to take, like it's about your perception, like how are you going to embrace it or not, right?
Exactly. It's about how you have to kind of instruct it like you would instruct a kid to
Got
perform
it.
some action, like being very specific.
Got
And
it.
then,
Got
of
it.
course, you cannot completely rely on the content that it creates. You have to give that
Mm-hmm.
final touch.
Got it.
And the
Got it.
content should show that, you have written it or you have edited it, because it has your touch in it.
Makes sense. Having said that, you've talked a lot about personal branding. I think it's, as I told, like it's going to be helpful to a lot of people who are going to start their journey on personal branding. It's kind of personal branding 101. So like I wanted to ask you, I just wanted to conclude this by asking like, what is your biggest learning so far? I think you have started your journey in content creation on LinkedIn, right, right from LinkedIn. maybe at the beginning still like you didn't figure out like what were the things, then slowly you started figuring out and you started understanding the power of personal brand and you started building your personal brand. So like what is your biggest learning so far, and like what do you think that people have to kind of learn and embrace about this personal branding? Like how should they act about personal branding?
Yeah. So my biggest learning would be that, instead of being scared about what others think and, how your content would perform, instead of having all those doubts, just put your real self out there. And by real self, I know you might have heard these words like, be authentic, put yourself out there, these kind of things. What I really mean is, and all of it is true, like, you have to kind of share your experiences, your point of views. Until you do that, your audience will not build that trust with you. Until you're just putting up, let's say, articles out there or just super informational content out there. And yes, I know you're trying to build yourself as an expert in your niche. Still, if you're just putting up that formally created content out there and just educating your audience, you are educating your audience, but you're not really connecting with them. You're not building a bond with them.
Right.
So start by
Mm-hmm.
sharing your experiences, your learnings, your point of view, like really what is happening in your life right now. And that's how people will start connecting with you. That's how they will trust you. And then, put forward your knowledge or share your knowledge, and the informational stuff can come after that, after you've kind of built that rapport. Of course, it can go side by side, but don't
Mm-hmm.
forget to put your real self out there. This is something that I have seen a lot of people actually doing, and then they're like, okay, I'm not getting the results. What's wrong? What is happening? The thing that's wrong with them is they're not putting themselves out there. They're not
Got it.
conversing with their audience, or they're not communicating with their audience and showing who they are or talking about who they are. So yes, no one is going to judge you. Maybe they might judge you, at your initial stage. Let them do it. Once you have gained that level,
True.
that people will come out to you, and like my friends come out to me and say, oh, you're a LinkedIn star now, how did you get here? And teach us also. And
Got it.
earlier
Got
they
it.
were
Got
like,
it.
why are you into LinkedIn all the time, and what are you doing? So everyone will go through that stage. And I follow
So
Justin
true.
Welch a lot. He himself has gone through that stage. He talks about it, that first
Exactly.
people will mock you, then they will kind of praise you, and then they will come up to you and ask you for help. So yeah, that's the journey you will have to take. So don't be afraid of putting yourself out there.
Got it. And I would love to have something over here. One is that, like as you said, on a bigger scale, it's always about like, are you gonna go out and do something? Like you might, there are like always everybody who want to do something great. It's not like people wanted to sit at their house and not do anything great. Like everybody wants to do something great, but as you said, the biggest problem is that they are not ready to put themselves out. That's the biggest problem. But as you said, like people have
Yeah.
to kind of leave all those thoughts like are they going to judge me, all those things, and they should put as much they should put themselves out. Even me, like I wanted to start this for a very long time, but like I had this insecurities. I used to always think that like what if my camera settings are not good, like what is my face is not good, like what is my audio not good, like I always used to have this insecurities because like what I thought is in current space, like there are like a lot of tech. Everybody are like creating some HD 4K videos, and like if I create just like just a 360 pixel video, like I used to think that like my friends are going to judge me. They're going to say like it's not at all good. But after like it's been like a very good journey that I have come across that. I thought like no, like whatever it is, I just want to do this because I just kind of I just love to speak like this on this through microphone, I mean through this mic, and do a lot of interview like this and all. So they're like, okay, no matter like what, I'm gonna do with the things whatever I have, and that's how I kind of started. And now I'm like so happy that I've started interviewing people like you, and like people are ready to kind of come to my show. That's that itself is a kind of big thing for me as of now. So it's that always like we should never worry about like what people think. It's just you just have to put yourself out, right?
Yes, just think about this, that even the expert was a beginner at some point of time. So, you have to be
Exactly.
there
So true.
and learn with time.
So true. Got it. So,
Mhm.
Rashika, I think it was a very great session. I mean, I just loved everything. I would say, I would say like this is kind of personal branding 101. I literally kind of, got a lot of updates about personal branding. I think this is going to really be helpful to people like who doesn't yet know the importance of personal branding or like how to build personal branding. I think it's going to be really valuable. So once again, like, thank you so much for your time and yeah, sharing your expertise. Thank you so much.
Yes, and I would really, like to extend my appreciation to you. Thank you so much for inviting me here. And I am really happy that you
Glad.
have finally, fought your insecurities and left all that behind you, all the doubts behind you, and you're getting out there. And I'm sure you're going to do great in the future.
Yes.